Salutations, hello, hi, and welcome to Basic Public Speaking. I'm Christy Thomas. I'm your professor instructor for this course, and this is the weekly chat for week 3. Week 3 dates are September the 1st to the 5th. This is Labor Day week, so there are no in-person classes on Monday, September the 1st. So let's go ahead and get into this week. So this week's lessons, you're going to find those in the Foundations module, and there's going to be a few different things. PowerPoint presentations, Word documents, video chats, all the above. But this lesson is just covering the craft of public speaking and the foundations. Just discussing the craft itself. But I have also included a Word document that's just a history of public speaking, because you're going to see some names in it that I will discuss further on. And I'm going to circle back to that in just one moment. Also in this module is overcoming or chatting about the anxieties that folks have for public speaking, and a lot of folks do, and that's okay. It is natural and pretty common to have public speaking fears. It's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's perfectly fine. The goal of this course is to be able to present overcoming those fears. To present by overcoming those fears, that sounds better. Anyway, let's keep chatting about this. So there's also a clip, a video in there, or a Word document, probably both, about prepping for your speech, because the more you prep and prepare yourself, the easier the speech will be. Impromptu speeches, which is just basically we get up and they give you an idea and you just go for it. Impromptu speeches aren't what we do in this course. That's not to say it doesn't happen in real life, but the majority of the time you have time to prepare. And by preparing, I mean doing the research, writing guidelines and outlines. There's basic outlines, and then there's working outlines. We discuss that later on, so don't fret. That's not a now situation. That's a later lesson. But you know, prepping, going over it, saying it out loud, speaking in front of a mirror, or if you have some folks that'll listen to you, you know, family members or buddies or significant others, or record yourself on a phone or a computer or whatever the case may be, and then watching and then taking notes and then, you know, kind of finessing. That way, by prepping yourself, you are working through some of those fears. You're working on your pacing and your breath. And there's a lot of things that come into play, and we discuss all these things throughout this course. But this is a snippet on how to help work on the anxieties and work on the foundations of public speaking. So all that's in that for this week. Pretty chill, pretty calm. You do have your very first main speech due this week, and again, we've talked about that in detail more last week's video lesson. The module has been open since the course has begun, but it's an introduction speech. It's you introducing yourself to me. And as always, with every speech in this course, you are to record yourself delivering the speech and submit your final version that you are happy with to me. For the speech, there are no technical requirements. That means nothing is due. I do not need an outline. I do not need a transcript. I just need the video. There's not even a time limit or minimum. I mean, I would love to hear you talk for like 1.5 minutes to 2, but you know, it is what it is. There will be no docking of points if you don't hit a time what I would love to hear you speak for. So please do not stress. This is just us getting warmed up. And remember, there are 5 talking points. Details are found in the Main Speech 1 Introduction module, in Word document and or via video chat. But you introduce yourself, the name on my roster, and if you have a preferred name, love to hear it. 2, future endeavors. This could be a career path, institution path, a dream career path, or if money, education, and nothing was at stake, what would you love to do? Like fantasy, or it could be all of the above. 3, something commonly known about you that everyone knows. They hear like, oh great, you know, I know that they did this, or they're in this organization, or they're the student club president, or you know, they're a dancer, whatever the case may be. And number 4, something not commonly known. No secrets. I don't need secrets. I just need something that maybe only those in your innermost circle know, that you're not afraid to share. Perhaps you're really into a specific type of genre of books, and maybe only your bestie knows, or your family knows. Or perhaps you're really into, you know, drawing, or I don't know, just something not as commonly known. We'll put it that way. And then finally, the last point to hit on that is what brings you joy? What brings a smile to your face in the world of chaos? What makes you happy? I'd love to hear that. So those are your 5 points. Name, future endeavors, whatever that may be. Commonly known, not as commonly known, no secrets, and anything that you just make it something that you are comfortable sharing. I will never ask you to share something uncomfortable. And then finally, what brings you joy? That's all part of that first main speech. There is a link to upload that speech. And if you are having issues or concerns, please email me and we will chat about it and get with it as well. So that's for week 3. I'm outside, you can hear. And they are loud today. Week 3, remember those dates are September 1st through the 5th, Labor Day week. If you have, there are no in-person classes on that Monday. So just letting you know. And all this should be up by midday as well. So week 3 we talked about. Oh, this is also a heads up warning that by end of week 5, so 2 weeks from the Friday, which is September 5th, which is when your first main speech is due, your song storytelling speech will be due. We'll go into detail more with that in another video. And the module for that is open. Remember, storytelling speeches, there are no technical requirements. I gave you a large umbrella topic. And these speeches are created to help you find your pace and your rhythm in your online speaking voice. So that's why I make such large umbrella topics. But the theme of that is song. We'll get into it more, or you can check out the module. Again, there's a Word document and a video chat discussing the description of that speech. But that's not due till the end of week 5. But this is your 2-week warning that that module is now open and ready for your visual perusal. All right, week 3, September 1st through the 5th, Labor Day week. Main speech 1 is due by 5 o'clock on Friday, September 5th. Allow me up to a week to get that graded. If it takes me longer, I will let you know. But always when it comes to submitted work, allow me up to 1 week to have the work graded and then the grade books updated. Now, sometimes I will get the grade books updated quicker on Blackboard, but I always say allow me up to 1 week. If there's any questions or concerns over anything that I just talked about, please email me and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I hope that you have an amazing day, a fabulous week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Thank you.